G'day everyone, Rune here. This video was inspired by Film Theory's video about how Sharpay was not the villain everyone thought she was, and that Troy was actually more deserving of the villain title. And while I still don't agree with most of Matt's conclusions, and the fact that he completely ignored that Sharpay was literally bullying Kelsey was a little frustrating, I can still see how, from a certain angle, Sharpay could be interpreted as simply misunderstood. She does still have her good points as someone generous to her friends and a hard worker, and it made me realize that not only did Sharpay need a character arc, but she absolutely deserved one. Looking back on it, it's really frustrating that the entire school goes through a character arc in each of the films, yet Sharpay is stuck in the role of the spoiled bully. While her surface motives and methods change, her core goals remain the same: maintain her own popularity and gain more through the use of others. This is why I wanted to try my own hand at giving Sharpay a character arc which would fit with these movies. For the first movie, the change is very simple and you wouldn't even need to change anything about the movie itself. You just need to carry it over to the other films. In the first movie, the lesson that Sharpay would learn would come right when Kelsey stands up to her in order to help Troy and Gabriella. When this happens, she realizes that Kelsey's loyalty to them is stronger than her fear of Sharpay herself. And that is why Troy and Gabriella are able to show their true talents. She already began to realize when she and her brother overheard them practicing that she wasn't the only one with talent. But this drives the final nail in the coffin. All of her talent means nothing if people hate her guts. It doesn't matter how talented or rich or capable you are, you can't also be a horrible person. Troy and Gabriella were able to shine brighter than her because rather than tearing Kelsey down, they lifted her up through an act of kindness. This is honestly a message that I think a lot of people in the entertainment industry need to learn. High School Musical 2 is where I actually need to start making major changes to the script. In the second movie, Sharpay is trying to break up Troy and Gabriella so that she can get with Troy herself. In the original story, it's more about Sharpay tossing her brother aside and not caring about his feelings. It also bothered me that the running theme of Zeke liking Sharpay never actually goes anywhere. So for this rework, I want to take a different angle. Even in the original movie, I never got the feeling that Sharpay actually liked Troy. What she liked was the idea of him, or the idea of what he could do for her. Troy is very popular, something that Sharpay is shown to care very much about. In the first movie, she even mentions her concern that Gabriella and Troy getting together would mean the mathletes would become popular. This is something that Ryan recognizes and is constantly trying to get Sharpay to realize with no success. He also recognizes that all of Sharpay's favors to Troy could be the beginning of a seriously unhealthy relationship where all of the power is on Sharpay. The girl literally convinces the manager of the resort to engage in workplace bullying in order to force Troy's friends and girlfriend into quitting, and is willing to bribe college heads into accepting Troy at their college. These are all very problematic behaviors. Throughout the movie though, we also see Sharpay having quiet and very sweet moments with Zeke, where they talk and joke around with no guards and are completely comfortable. This reaches a climax when she and Troy are about to practice their duet for the resort show, where Troy realizes what Sharpay is trying to do and that he doesn't want it. Sharpay is also having her own revelation of this not actually being what she wants either. She doesn't feel that spark that she read about in books, and she feels empty. She realizes that the best moments she's had all summer weren't with Troy, but with Zeke. It is here where she goes to her brother and they work together to fix the damage that Sharpay has caused and give Gabriella and Troy their adorable moment. And like in the first movie, we end with a post-credits scene with Zeke and Sharpay. In this case, it's Zeke teaching her how to bake a pudding, and when it falls apart, they laugh and end up feeding each other some of it. This movie is where all of Sharpay's character growth comes together. For a start, she isn't clueless or uncaring about the big game as she is in the original, nor does she try to make the spring musical a one-woman show. Here, Sharpay is in a happy relationship with Zeke, she genuinely cares about the game and congratulates them on the win, and is the one to suggest making the spring musical a final send-off to the students by making it about their last year of high school. Throughout the movie, we get to see how much Sharpay and her relationships with the other characters have changed. She's much more open and caring to her classmates, she has a close, genuine friendship with Gabriella, Taylor, and Kelsey, with her even calling Kelsey her best friend. And while she playfully calls Ryan, Troy, and Kelsey her rivals for the scholarship, she genuinely wants to see them get into good colleges and have their dreams come true. When Gabriella leaves for Stanford, Sharpay is really sad that she won't be there for the play, but tries to be optimistic while also helping Kelsey comfort Troy. She's also a little worried over who'll take her place in the play while she fills in for Gabriella, which Tiara generously offers to do. When the rest of the group find out about Troy not being there and that he's on his way from Stanford with Gabriella, it's Tiara that prevents Sharpay from being told. So when Sharpay is about to go up on stage, it's her sweetheart Zeke who rushes in to save her from embarrassment. When Troy and Gabriella finally arrive, Sharpay launches herself at them to hug them both before pushing them toward the stage, telling them to hurry up and save the day already. When she gets back to her dressing room and discovers that Tiara had been manipulating her and intentionally cheated Sharpay out of her part, she is devastated and runs to Zeke, who is with their other friends. When they hear what Tiara had done, they all devise a plan not only to get Sharpay back her moment in the spotlight, but also show Tiara what happens when you mess with their friend. Together, they manage to use stage work and off-the-fly choreography to keep the focus on Sharpay and their friends and away from Tiara. In this version of A Night to Remember, it becomes less about being in the spotlight and more about having one last moment with all of your friends that will stay in your heart forever. Yeah, it's cheesy, but it's a Broadway musical put to film about a high school romance. Cheese comes with the territory. And that, everyone, is my idea of how Sharpay could have had an actual character arc in the movies rather than being stuck as the one-note antagonist. What did you think? How would you have given Sharpay a character arc? I'm Rune. See you in the next story.